Is Meghan Markle trying not only to emulate Princess Diana, but to outshine her as well? Let's find out. Even Prince Harry is full aware of the eerie similarities between his wife and his mother's stories, telling Oprah, "My biggest concern was history repeating itself." Many pointed out that the American actress desperately tries to imitate Princess Diana, but she still has some Hollywood roots apparently, as apparent by her attempts to promote herself. Former butler Paul Burrell, who knew Diana for ages, came out and said, "Diana wasn't interested in self-promotion." I think the main difference between them is that Meghan has a game plan, whereas Diana was young and naive. There's plenty of evidence to support this claim. In fact, two words will suffice: Netflix and Spotify. The deals the two made with the two companies to produce content. The fact that the first thing Meghan and Harry did after the infamous groundbreaking event that's known as Mexic, which is when they announced they were stepping down from their royal duties, was launching a website is telling enough. Now, we're going to be looking at how the two rebelled against the royal family, or as insiders call them, the firm. Some allege that Meghan has been planning from the start to rebel from the family and leave. Her rebellious behavior, constantly breaking protocol, speaks for itself. From not knowing how to curtsey to the Queen, to crossing her legs and wearing fashion faux pas, such as pieces by the wrong designers, Meghan showed right from the get-go that she was not a by-the-book royal. One of Diana's most courageous acts of rebellion was during her wedding in 1981. She made one groundbreaking change to her vows, removing the word obey, making her the first ever royal bride to do so. Diana's other rebellions weren't small either. She defied social expectations as well. In the 1980s, during a time when AIDS patients were ostracized, Diana was famously photographed shaking hands with them and was criticized for her overall work with them, forever changing the way the UK viewed the disease. Perhaps one of Diana's most iconic moments in getting back at the royal family was what became known as her revenge dress. On the night Prince Charles was about to confess to adultery, Princess Diana stepped out in an elegant off-shoulder black silk evening gown, designed by Christina Stambolian. She once thought the dress was too daring, but for this night, she wanted to look like $1 million. Fashion-wise, there's no denying that Meghan has channeled Princess Diana more than a few times. A few notable examples include Meghan's final engagement at her last event as a working member of the royal family, going out in a cape dress in a beautiful, bold green. Most of Meghan's final outfits are either closely related or are inspired by some of Diana's most iconic fashion moments. At the Gulf Forces Parade Mansion House in 1991, Diana was famously photographed with Charles, wearing a white button-up short-sleeve dress and a black-rimmed white oversized hat. Jump forward 27 years at an Ascot race, and you'll find a similarly dressed Meghan in a vintage Givenchy long-sleeve white button-up dress and a Philip Treacy hat. Again, when Meghan attended the premiere of Cirque du Soleil's Totem at the Royal Albert Hall, Meghan's Roland Mouret gown reminded people of Diana's blue sequined gown. Meghan even wore gold bracelets that once belonged to Diana. Royal photographer Mark Stewart commented on this, saying, "Meghan has the confidence in front of the camera that Diana had, and the same love of fashion and top-end designers. Diana loved Versace, Meghan loves Givenchy." Their style is quite similar, classic, elegant, and with lots of block colors. It was also Stewart who pointed out similarities between how the two deal with the public. He said, "It's not just her clothes. The way Meghan is with people reminds me of Diana. The way she bends down to interact with children. There's a natural empathy and humanitarianism. The way she seeks out the cameras and actually makes eye contact. She's terrific, just like Diana was." An insider, a source close to the royal household, revealed Meghan's secret nickname at the palace, which is Di 2, because of the similarities to Harry's mother. The source added, "I think it's quite true. They are rather alike." No one can deny that both women suffered under the scrutiny of media and press. Meghan wasn't shy speaking about how she felt unprotected by the royals from the overwhelmingly negative press, to the extent she was prohibited from defending herself, especially with the scandal that Meghan had allegedly made Duchess Kate cry before the wedding, when in reality, it was Kate who made Meghan cry over a flower girl dress. They both stepped back from the media after their exit from the royal world. After Mexic, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex said they'll no longer cooperate with several newspapers and that they were implementing a policy of zero engagements, except when absolutely necessary, and that would be through their lawyers. Toward the end of 1993, Diana also withdrew from the press and public life. She said to Bashir, It did surprise the people who were causing the grief. It did surprise them when I took myself out of the game. They hadn't expected that. Diana's behavior, of course, ticked off the royal family, as she revealed in her bombshell interview with BBC Panorama in 1995. The family was frustrated because she won't go quietly, saying that's the problem. The family hated that she had more publicity than Charles. The princess said, "The enemy was my husband's department, because I always got more publicity. My work was more, and was discussed much more than him. And you know, from that point of view, I understand it. But I was doing good things, and I wanted to do good things." Diana also believed that a campaign was being waged against her, saying, "I was the separated wife of the Prince of Wales. I was a problem, full stop." She said that the family viewed the situation as something that's never happened before. What do we do with her? Then moving on to another thing in common, only it's a lot darker, is their struggle with loneliness and depression, and being dismissed and denied by the royals. In her truth bomb-dropping interview, Meghan revealed that she was deeply depressed and was seriously experiencing suicidal thoughts, thanks to the extreme attention and intense press scrutiny, especially since a lot of the criticism was racist. Her mental struggles were made worse by the lack of support, even as she and Harry repeatedly asked for help against the press and to seek treatment. At one point, Meghan claims that she just didn't want to be alive anymore. Decades ago, the Princess of Wales said the same. Her mental struggles included experiencing depression, self-harm, and bulimia, all due to a lack of support from the royals and from feeling isolated in her role. In her interview, her heartbreaking statement continues to be brought up to this day. When no one listens to you, or you feel no one's listening to you, all sorts of things start to happen. For instance, you have so much pain inside yourself that you try and hurt yourself on the outside because you want help, but it's the wrong help you're asking for. While everyone is quick to jump to say that Meghan is a poor copy of Princess Di, as one Twitter user put it, what if we told you that Kate Middleton is just as guilty, yet nobody talks about this? We can count up to more than 50 times Kate wore an outfit that was either imitating or directly inspired by Princess Diana. Take a look at the purple they both donned. Diana in St. Albans in 1988 and Kate at the Royal Opera House in 2019. Back in 2016, Kate wore a Diane von Furstenberg coat that's almost identical to what the princess wore at Remembrance Day Sunday service in 1991. Red flower and everything. The same goes for the polka dot dress and matching hat worn by Diana and Kate in 1988 and 2018 respectively. Now, what does the public think? The world is torn between people who hate Meghan, saying that she's a narcissist and she's manipulating people into gaining sympathy for her, and people who don't, who see the intense negative press pushed on her as horrific. They believe that she behaves this way to be closer to Harry, who is still suffering from his mother's decision. And they also believe that she wants to be seen like Princess Diana, who was very popular with the British public. Here are some comments from both sides. Narc traits, it's called mirroring. Right, so she wants us to think that she's here to replace Diana. She's a poor copy of Princess Di. Why didn't Harry see that? I think it's because she set her sights on him before he knew what was happening. He's younger than her and gullible, naive at this stage and a bit innocent, and has been manipulated by her about the racist BS. Now, here's the other side. It's bad if Meghan copied Princess Diana, but it's okay if Kate copies her? Like, OMG. Stop picking on her and live your own life. At least Meghan didn't try to copy Princess Diana to get good PR like Kate does constantly with how she dresses. But maybe that's because Kate doesn't care enough to do any work, so all she has is clothes. Now, what do you think? Is Meghan Markle trying to emulate and outshine Princess Diana? Or at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because who actually cares? Princess Diana will always be Harry's mother, the mother of Meghan's husband. And she's a good influence, and that's a good way to strengthen her marriage, since Prince Harry loved his mother to the moon. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Celeb Space, and turn on notifications.